Hello everyone, how you guys doing? Hopefully you guys are having a wonderful day, and today we are here with a video on whether or not flipping is dead in old school RuneScape now that the tax system is in place. If you guys aren't aware, essentially most everything traded on the Grand Exchange now has a 1% tax, and a lot of people are going to be wondering, does this mean that flipping is over for me? Are there going to be margins left to be had? And that's what I'm here to find out today. So I brought a couple of my other accounts. This is a clan chat homie, just not even involved in this, but we have large EXP lamp, small EXP lamp, and max EXP lamp. On this account, I have 1 bill. On large EXP lamp, I have 100 mil, and on max EXP lamp, I have 10 mil. So this is going to try to replicate a lot of different scenarios in flipping. So I'm going to run the accounts on over here and get into what we're doing today. So I'm going to be playing on these accounts for about 10 hours today. I'll do the flipping somewhat passively in the sense that I'm not going to be actively on the Grand Exchange all the time, just constantly running and just doing tons and tons of flips, because that's not realistic in terms of what most people are going to do for flipping. So it'll be somewhat casual. To help me find my flips, I'll be using a website called GE Tracker. They're an affiliate of mine. You can check them out down below in the description if you'd like. They already have the tax built into all of this and accounted for, so I can go ahead and sort by the best profits per item. In addition to that, they have many other ways to sort your items. There's high volume items and different ways that you can go about finding different niches in terms of these items, so I will also be utilizing that for the lower value accounts. For the 1 bill account, I'll probably be staying in this highest margins area and seeing what I can do here. You typically want to find something that has good approximate GP per flip, but also has some pretty high trading volume. So right here, we can see the Dragon Hunter crossbow could be a good option for me. Nets me 776k profit. This does include the tax already, because if you look right here, the difference between that price and this price is about 1.7 mil, and about 900k is taken off through tax. So that leaves me with about 800k. G Tracker's also telling me that Ceradome brews are a good way to go, so I'll give that a peek as well. For anything that's really low price, I don't mind buying and selling one. However, with the tax now, high priced items, I wouldn't be as inclined to just buy and sell all willy-nilly. But oh my goodness, that's like a 300 GP margin right there. So on here, I cannot buy and sell items as easy, so I'm gonna have to try to guess the margins more so, which actually makes this a bit more fun. I'm gonna throw in an offer for a couple Din's Bulwarks. Usually those have pretty good margins, and as you can see right there, the approximate sell price was 400k higher, so I'd make some good money if that worked. So after putting in this offer, now I have all the items that I'd like to buy at the moment. We'll see how many of those I actually end up going through, but all of these items seem like they have between 100 and a 400 to 500k margin, including the tax. So we'll see how that plays out. I always like items like this Tanzanite Fang, where you're turning one item into another, because usually people aren't as into that type of thing. So I feel like there's more opportunity there. And just like that, we already had a few items buy, so we'll get this off and going and see what we can do. Now finally, we're on to the granddaddy of the accounts with the 1 bill out here. I'm not really too sure at all how the higher market's going to play out with this tax. It'll probably be fun, but at the same time, a lot of risk comes with this, so we'll see how it plays out. One thing I'll warn you guys about is the Scythe of Vitor and items like this. Whenever they have really big margins, you also want to check out and see what their graphs look like. And this is why there's a big margin, because this thing has shot up today from 485 mil all the way up to 540 and is now falling back down about 20 mil. So as you can tell, very volatile. So buying in right now in hopes of a flip is so risky. So I might throw in like a low ball offer, maybe 507 mil, 508, something like that, and then hope to flip it. But I definitely don't want to buy at the current margins, because that's just terrifying. It easily could go down 20, 30 mil, and then this video is just entirely me being sad because I took one risk. So yeah, I probably won't even touch that, to be honest, but it's very intriguing in my eyes. Something I actually like right now is the Sanguine SD Staff, because it's dropped a little bit. So if there's good margins on something that has dropped already, I feel much more comfortable hopping in on something like that than I would the opposite happening, like the Scythe that we just saw. So I'll throw in an offer for a few of those. So now I have all my items in at the moment, mostly looking towards items in the 30 to 75 mil range. Dragon Hunter items hopefully are going to do me good at the moment. Not looking too bad. In theory, I should be able to make a good bid off of this flip right here. But now I have all my items set up at the moment, mostly looking for items in the 25 to 75 mil range for the most part. Anything beyond that just taking up too much of my money, so I'll try to avoid it unless it just is too tempting to the point where I can't. Alrighty, so checking in a little bit over an hour into my merching scene. At the moment, still working on these Sarah brews. They have a pretty good margin, so I've been messing around with those. Darok was also something I found found on another account, so I was going to put that to use. Haven't made too much money, as you can tell right here, 352k. Not great, but I mean, if you only have 10 mil and you're doing on the side, an extra 400k an hour almost is pretty good, but doing pretty good so far. Just ending off of that little merch right there and looking to do more. On these very high volume items, they just move in price so much, you really have to either pay a lot of attention or pay no attention. Really, the in-between is kind of tough. But as you can see here, I mean, almost 250 GP margin, so pretty good at the moment. On the 100 mil account, my profit's actually looking really good so far. 2.7 mil made in about an hour and 20 minutes. It's kind of come to a standstill though at the moment, so I'm gonna need to go ahead and rework the items that I have flipping. What I'd recommend is after your items really don't start buying and selling for more than 10-20 minutes at a time, to just go ahead and switch it up, which is what I'm gonna go ahead and do now. And then on the big account over here, I mean, 3 mil is pretty good so far. You know, I can't complain. I also put in these offers a little later than the other ones, so I've made 3 mil in what is essentially an hour so far in this account. However, I'm also kind of sitting on this L right here. Dragon Hunter crossbows have not been selling, and even if I sell them at this price, I'm going to lose money, especially because of the tax. So yeah, all of that money that I made might be going out the window here in a second. But yeah, the high priced items haven't been doing me too well, I'll say. Honestly, the 100 mil account's been doing basically just as good as my 1 bill account, which is a little demoralizing. But hopefully we can get that turned around and get some profits flowing on in here soon. It's 2.5 hours in. We're starting to hit a problematic spot here on the main account. We had 1 bill. When these Pegasian boots sell, I will have 898 mil or so. So we'll be down 2 mil in 2.5 hours. Basically just off the Pegasian boots, all of my money that I made has been taken away and more just from the Pegasians. And honestly, I'm having some troubles right now with the high priced items. Currently in game, Next is getting talked about a lot along with Raids 3, so there's a lot of items kind of in limbo. And I think people are just too cutthroat on these margins because I keep putting in offers for tons of stuff. And as you can see here, bought 1, bought 2, bought 1, bought 1, 2, 2, 2. Like I can barely ever buy more than 1 or 2 things. And I think that's just because everyone has access to the margins, and so you really can't buy too many. So I think the best thing to do is just sit back and kind of put in offers at your own leisure, I guess. Make your own margins and try to work off of that, maybe on some higher price stuff. I'm definitely gonna have to switch up what I'm doing though, because the regular style of merching these high price items just is not working for me at the moment. I also had to take off the total profit overall because it's just a blatant falsehood. This account was saying I made like 9 mil, which is just not the case. My other accounts are a little bit closer, but it doesn't really do a great job at accumulating the tax, so that's a really big deal. So I've decided to take more of a passive approach to flipping. As you can see, I've had these offers in here for a little over an hour. I'm gonna check about every half hour to hour. I just wanted to see. I wanted to give it a nice, little bit of runtime and see how many things I actually bought. And so we did have some buy here, I'll give you that. Bandos tacits are very liquid, so I should be able to get 4 of those. That makes sense. The Justice Shard armor, kind of impressed that I got all that. But beside that, I couldn't complete any of my other offers in that hour and a half, which is a little disappointing. You do have to do a little bit more guesswork now, though. You'll never know what the margin is exactly. You used to be able to buy and sell an item and know exactly what the margin is. Now you kind of gotta spitball. So I was able to buy 400 mil worth of gear, and we'll see what it flips for. And hopefully I can kind of rebound on this account, but I don't think no matter how good I do, it's gonna be looking that great by the end. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to prop up my numbers too much, but hopefully I can turn it around a good bit. Beyond that though, the 100 mil account actually did okay work. 4 out of my 7 essentially filled, so I'll take that. I decided to go with some arrow orbs and some dragon bolts, some more highly traded type items because these low volume items are a little hit or miss. And then the 10 mil account did struggle a good bit. I put in 4 different offers and only the eclectics filled out. And yeah, a little disappointing. I actually love flipping eclectics, little side note. Always one of my favorite flips. They're so good. Finally got a big hit here with the Din's Bulwark right there. I just sold off 2 for about 12.1 mil. Essentially 12 mil each after tax. And if I go on over here, I bought them for 10.6. So made some good profit off of all those. Made back for a lot of the Dragon Hunter crossbow disaster, so that's good. Still got a good bit of time left here on these flips. The Justice Shard has been going really good for me. I've also really been enjoying the Zenite jewelry. I think that that's been a good one. And I feel like items between 500k and 50 mil, I mean, I know that that's a wide spread, but I think that's the sweet spot. I think people compete too much for the higher priced items, so I think that's where I'm going to mostly stick. The rapiers have done me pretty well because they're high volume, but signs of life as we get towards the home stretch. As far as the 100 mil cash jack account, hasn't been too good in the last buying session. Nothing really actually was able to buy, so not ideal. Then the 10 mil account, I'm walking home with a cool 120k in this Brimstone Ring merch, so again, not ideal. Doing what I can out here though. The high volume items just are so quick to be scooped up. Everyone's so competitive on the high volume, so I'd rather just buy silly stuff like this instead of maybe potions, because earlier I just couldn't get a good quantity of them. About to hit 2 hours to go, checking in on the main account. I have a lot of cash right now and I've been selling some more things. Yeah, I'm kind of in on these Zamorakian spears at a bad price. I know how I talked about earlier not buying above the price that you should. This isn't a good example, by the way. This is a good example of something else, but I bought these about 2.5 mil over the GE price, and yeah, we'll see how that goes. These hostas though, I had 6 of them, and you ever do the thing where you just type in the wrong number? Yeah, it cost me a little bit here, so I ended up selling each of these for maybe 16.6, 16.7 mil, and I'm in for each one at about 17.7, so about a mil loss per one, on top of the tax that I have to pay, which is like 170k. Just take that out of the game. Jagex takes a mil tax on my already 6 mil loss, just rub it in. Yeah, oh my, 16.4, oh my, that's so painful. On the 100 mil account, I haven't had too many things buy and sell for too much of profit. I've been trying to go with air orbs and necklace of anguishes, which weren't working, dragon fire shields too. A lot of the margins have been pretty rough over here, and I've been having some more success, I would say, with the 10 mil account. I feel like I'm doing a pretty good job on this one. Black Champas were working really well for me, and as you can see, dragon arrows right here. Decent margin at the moment. They had a better one earlier. Gonna shake up what all I'm buying and selling and probably check in once more before then we end it off for the night. So checking in before we wind down here, selling off all I can for the night. Gonna go ahead and go on over to bed. You can do some maths if you'd like and kind of see where our money's adding up at the moment. But I will be hopping on tomorrow. Got all my sell offers in, so really nothing too much to look forward to. Hopefully it all goes down as planned. I don't want to keep any buy offers in overnight because it's kind of cheating. And I just want to see whether or not it has been worth it. And honestly, my impressions are alright so far. Flipping's certainly not dead. I know a lot of people thought that that might be the case, but with the tax, you're gonna have bigger margins. It just is what it is. And I think it makes the playground a little bit more fun. So I'm gonna go to bed, and hopefully this all sells, and then we'll wake up in the morning and see where we're at. So I've logged back in for the day, and everything is sold on all my accounts, so we'll see how much money I made. Starting out on the 10 mil account, I'll collect from here, and we can see where we ended off. 2.6, almost 2.7 mil profit, which isn't too bad. I mean, that's upping my total GP 27% in a day just by kind of flipping on the side, so we'll take that. On the 100 mil account, I'm hoping for a little better, but we'll see here. So turned 100 mil into 107.2, so a 7.2 mil profit, which again, you know, I mean, that's almost 2 bonds. I guess it's closer to 1 bond nowadays, but depending on the time, that's decent, buddy. And then on the big boy account, this is what separates the men and the boys. We'll see if, oh, okay. All right, I actually didn't know how much money I had made. I was, at one point, I was almost 3 hours in and it's lost money, so I was a little nervous. But yeah, managed to make 19.9, essentially 20 mil overall, so I'll take that. I'm really happy with that, honestly. To track my profits during this episode, I used the Flipping Utilities plugin on RuneLite. However, it didn't take away the tax, so here on my main account it said I made 57 mil, when in reality I only made close to 20 mil, so kind of the problem there. But it gives you a good idea what items were working better for me. So in this video for my main account, the one with 1 build, the rapier is pretty good. However, again, it has a high tax. So the lower items that did pretty good are more beneficial, like the Justiciar set, the Dins was really good, the Chain Mace was great. Like I mentioned before, the Zenite jewelry was working really good as well. And I'd say that that was really the sweet spot. Items in between the 5 to 25 mil range didn't get taxed too much and seemed to have really good margins. So for people that have lesser of a cash deck, I feel like this update's pretty good for you. For the 10 mil account, a lot of my items were within this range, and I also worked in some high volume items, and as you can see there, it did pretty good overall with those. And then for the high volume item account, mostly was dealing in things that were frequently bought and sold. You might be able to mix it up with stuff like Darok sets or just general barrows, armors. A lot of universal gear that people are going to use at the med levels would probably be very good as well, I would imagine. But those are the flips that worked well for me. Now, time for a little bit of math in terms of what you could make off of this. So to put this in a larger perspective, on the 10 mil account, if you did this same style of flipping every day for a month, you would turn 10 mil into approximately 110 mil, which is obviously a good bit of money. With a 100 mil account, you could turn that into 340 mil within a month, and with the 1 bill account, you could turn that into 1.7 bill within a month from just checking your Grand Exchange offers about once every hour throughout the day. So I think it's safe to say that flipping is most certainly not dead. However, you have to pick your spots and be a little bit more careful whenever you're out there because you already have the tax working against you. So if things do go sideways, it's going to be even worse off for you. But with that said, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like. On top of that, anything you'd like to tell me or others, would love to hear in a comment down below. And if you want to see more videos like this as soon as I go live, make sure to subscribe. But with that said, hopefully you have a wonderful day and peace.